Listen, do you know what's the one thing that's blocking you right now from getting the amazing life you desire for yourself? Getting the money, to have the freedom, the experiences, and the things you want to buy? Or having the body and strength that makes you feel confident when you look in the mirror? Or finding that one special person that makes you feel loved and fulfilled? Well, this one thing that's stopping you right now is not how motivated you are to do something. It's not how disciplined you are, or how many affirmations you do in the mirror in the morning. This one thing that's limiting you right now, and the source of all the limitations that are stuck in your head, is judgment. And what judgment is basically comparison. And it's natural for us humans to compare one thing to another, as we derive meaning out of comparison. But the problem is when you compare and you judge things negatively. So let me explain. For example, in many religious books, they have some form of the saying, love your neighbor. For example, in the New Testament, Matthew 22:39 says, love your neighbor as yourself. But why do they say this? Well, let's look at how your mind works. You see, your mind is always resynthesizing reality. This means, for example, that as I'm here right now, looking at the camera on my phone in this beautiful house, my mind is taking the images processed through my eyes of all the environments around me, and it's rebuilding this image inside my head so that I can interact with the representation of reality that I've built in my mind. And that's interesting because if you think about it, when you're talking to somebody, for example, face to face, you're not really communicating with each other. You're communicating with the perception of the other person that you've built in your mind. And that's where the bias and filter comes in. So think about this. When we're interacting with the world, we're actually interacting with the way our mind resynthesizes reality. So what's the one thing that does the most damage in your mind? Well, the source of all your limitations, what really fucks up your mind, as I said, is judgment. Judging other people, judging things or events. Because when you're judging a person or a thing, you're assigning value to it. But because your mind is rebuilding reality inside itself, you're actually assigning value to parts of you in the mind. So what is really happening in your mind? Well, let's say, for example, you look at a person on the street, a random person, and you judge them. Maybe you think, I don't like his haircut, or I don't like her shoes, or whatever else you might think. Well, since you're recreating that person in your mind, you're actually judging part of yourself. So no matter who you judge or what you judge, you're always judging yourself, part of yourself. And that is what creates massive conflict inside yourself. For example, have you noticed that the people who judge the most are also the most unhappy, unsatisfied, miserable? The people who gossip about others, or the people who always have to say their negative opinion on things. For example, on politics, how things are always fucked up in the world. Or maybe on business, how everything is either a scam or it's too hard. And they always have to find what's wrong in something. And these people could be your parents, or your friends, or your teachers. And have you noticed that the happiest people rarely judge? You have to understand, the most successful people don't judge. Because when you judge others, you're actually judging yourself. You're not accepting yourself or parts of yourself. And if you don't accept yourself, it means you can't love yourself. You get it? So all the limitations come from judgment, especially habitual judgment. Because when we judge, we focus on what we don't want, what we don't like, what scares us, what disgusts us. And the problem is, those things we judge are part of us. So we're doing it to ourselves. And that judgment is stopping the manifestation of what you want from taking place. So one of the biggest things you can do to improve your mindset and massively improve your life is not to judge. To train yourself not to judge. To look at things, observe them for what they are, but not judge them. Don't assign a negative value to them. Because as soon as you assign a negative value to it, what ends up happening is you're assigning value to yourself. And a quote that will help you remember this is the following. Things are not good or bad. They just are. Which means don't assign value to things or people or events. Just look at them for what they are without casting judgments. And here's the best trick that will help you with this. If you have to judge other people, judge them positively. Because if you judge them positively and you find positive and good qualities in people and things, that is going to allow your mind to free itself. And then you can be a lot more creative. I'm telling you, if you do this, you will feel much better and more free. Great ideas will come to you. Things that were previously difficult for you now become easy. It's incredible, but lucky things will happen to you. Now, you may not believe me now, but just try this. Only judge people positively. And then you'll see the results in your life. And here's another trick that's going to help you. If you want success in your life, wish the people that in your mind are your biggest enemies success. Because those enemies are part of you in your mind. Because you are aware of them. You can't be aware of them unless they are in your mind. And therefore, if you wish them bad things, you wish yourself bad things. So realize that it always hits you back. The world is like a mirror. And the last trick I want to share with you is when something bad happens to you, maybe something outside of your control, someone you love died, or some accident happened to you, or maybe you fucked up with something, you failed in your business, or you failed an exam in university, you had a breakup, and you feel regret about what you did. Well, the trick to make those things work for you instead of against you is to realize what you're gaining from these things happening. So reverse your thinking from focusing on the things that you lost and instead think about the things you gained. So when something happened, no matter how bad it is, you have to stop yourself and immediately think, okay, what do I get out of this? Maybe you had a bad experience, but it made you learn something about yourself. Or maybe you had a bad breakup, but you realize how that relationship made you grow as a person, and all the things that you are grateful for to have learned and experienced, and how now you're eventually going to get into a new relationship, sometimes in the future, with a higher awareness of yourself, of the things you don't like and do like. So this awareness is going to make your life better. So the moment you invert all the negative events and negative thoughts as positive is the moment when you free yourself from all your limitations. Because you have to realize the world is abundant. There's all this opportunity out there. And there never can be loss. Even the worst failure you can imagine is just a stepping stone for you to improve as a person. And some people, for example, want success in their life. But deep inside, they have fear of success as well. Because what happens for some people is your mind is thinking, well, if I do succeed in this thing, whether it's business or studying or sport, your mind thinks, what will other people think of me if I succeed? How will other people judge me? And all these thoughts that you may not even be aware of, but they're actually limiting you in your subconscious, limiting you from getting the results you want. All this shit is coming from habitual judgment. You're judging other people in the first place, and the world is a mirror, so it comes back to you. And if you grew up without much money or in a lower, less than ideal circumstances, then you tend to be more judgmental because that's like a form of comparison, right? So if you're one of those person, it's extremely important that you do the things I told you in this video. So to sum everything up, the first step to free yourself is to remove judgment. But because it's hard to remove judgment, the best thing you can do right now is to change it into positive judgment. Only judge people, things positively. And then by default, you'll feel a lot better. Because if you can give somebody else positive praise, then you can give yourself positive praise, right? So your self-worth will go up, and then you'll feel good. You'll feel better about yourself. And the world around you will treat you better. The world will take care of you. Keep that in mind. And what will happen now, after you listen to this video and you implement those things, is that you will become more aware of yourself. You'll catch yourself in different situations and you'll say to yourself, stop, I'm not judging that thing or that person. Let's find something positive about it. And I know from my own personal experience that it's gonna massively help you. You will attract more positive people into your life, and eventually you'll attract more success as well. So now, before you go on with your day, I invite you to stop and do this one simple exercise that will help you a lot with this. It's gonna take just a minute. Now, think about one thing in your past or in your present that you used to judge about other people on a regular basis. Maybe you judge people with money because you don't have that many. Or maybe you judge people who go to the gym and try to keep their body healthy and eat healthy because deep inside you know you would like to be like them, but something is limiting you. So you judge them as a mechanism to feel good about your current situation, even though you don't like your current situation. So whatever it is that you judge about other people, write it down as a comment right below in the comment section. And it's very important that you do this right now and you do it publicly. Why? Because you will instantly feel better. And as you become more aware of what you're judging, you're kind of freeing part of your mind from this destructive habit. So don't be shy. We're all humans. We're all fatally flawed individuals. But recognizing our flaws and telling them aloud to the world is going to help you get rid of them. And you'll feel much better. So please go ahead. Feel free to write in the comment section below whatever it is you realize you judge about other people on a regular basis. Or if you want to share anything else that this video made you realize about yourself. And if you like this video, I also invite you to subscribe and share this video with a friend or someone you love who would benefit from learning this. And if you really want to make a change in your life, that's the biggest thing. I suggest you save this video in a playlist and listen to it multiple times, maybe in a few days, because it contains very important concepts that your mind needs to repeat multiple times to properly digest and assimilate, so that you start doing the things that are going to improve you, such as judging others positively. The single biggest improvement you can do in your life right now is to remember this habit. Only judge others positively. Now, this was the first video I made publicly on this channel, and I have a lot more things to share with you in the coming videos. So if you decide to subscribe now, I'll try my best to disrupt your current view of reality so you can free yourself from your own limitations, so you can become a better version of yourself and achieve the success that you truly desire deep inside and that you deserve. My name is Dario. Thank you for watching.